Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. This is Tuxedo Ian. We are getting back to our playthrough of Book of Hours. As we said before, we've gotten to the point where we've opened the entire house, so our goal at this point is just to decide who we want to have working for us at the Lighthouse Institute and solve incidents until we can get them on our side. So, with that said, let's dive back in and get ready for next season's salon. All right. So we are back. Everything is remembered. Hush House endures once again. So let's take a look at our wisdom tree here. We have the particular mystique. We can get Douglas, we can get Fraser, we can get Serena, or we can get Yvette. So let's see. Douglas would be a secretary nunciant, secretary vigilant, but we've already got a Zeta for that. We can get Yvette to be our secretary enigmatic, but we already have Dr. Peel for that. We can get Serena to be our secretary nunciant. So we can invite her back for that. And we can note Daymare's address. Schloss Nagelsberg, Ruritania. She likes knock and rose books and affairs, and she likes knock food and drink. And here goes our next day. Clouds. Not that we need to really check the weather anymore, but it's there. So we'll go out scavenging on the moor. The wind's almost warm. And what has the sea seeded today? And let's see, who do we want to invite for our next get-together? Well, we just got Daymare's address, so let's invite her around. So we need three knock to get her attention, which is easy enough. We have door and wall. And we want Serena's help with our incident that's been resolved. And let's see, who else do we want to invite? Oh, we can get Father Stanislav. He's always enjoyable to have. Even if he is a little tricky to write an invite for. And then let's see, we can get Olymp. And get her out of Karasham. And then we can do... See, we have room for two more. We'll invite Corso back. And Douglas Moore. So let's post our letter to Serena so we can get her help with that incident. Dear Dr. Blackwood, alright, so we know Corso likes Grail. So let's find ourselves something Grail to drink and something Grail to eat. Well, we have some Armagnac yeast, so we can use that. So that's Corso covered for drink. And we have the baked apple meringue, which also covers him for food. Douglas likes lantern. So we need to get some dandelion wine. And let's see, do we have anything lantern in stock? No, we do not. So we're going to need to research and get some marrow. So we've got our garden. Luckily it is summertime, so we can harvest from the garden. Carrots, tomatoes, marrows, and blessed onions, all the unsung heroes of the stew pot. And let's use these leeks we have. We can make some leek soup. And we need dripping to go with that. To make leek soup. So let's see. So we've got Corso covered. We need knock for Dagmar. We need heart for Stanislav. And Olymp likes forge. Stanislav likes heart. Dagmar likes knock. So Douglas we've got half covered. So forge. We have some coffee laying around somewhere. Over here. Yep, there we go. Coffee. So let's see, we need knock food and knock drink. That one's going to be tricky. Well, we have the honey haunted pumpkin pie. So there's our knock food. Knock drink. That one's going to be tricky. Let me check my notes here and see what we can do as far as knock drink. So I know there's at least there has to be at least one. But I cannot remember where it is. But for heart, for Father Stanislav, oh, we have the Aglafotis Souffle is also knock. Apple Charlotte is heart, but we already have heart covered here. We're going to need a first dish. So what we'll do, we'll cook our potatoes. Okay, we found a granite slab. Nothing good there. Yeah, some pilchards. Alright, where was I? Ah, yes, so we're waiting on these to finish so we can get some marrows. We need some water. Let's see, we can make roast pheasant. Probably won't use it for this one, but we'll have it in case we need it. Ah, we have some water over here already. Nice. So we need a knock drink. That's what we were looking for. Knock drink. Okay. So deep sweetened Assam is the knock drink. So let's see, do we have a packet of Assam somewhere? Or do we have a pot of Assam here, so that works. Oh, wait, we have some deep sweetened Assam. We've already made some, I forgot. We just stored it down here. Yeah, there's our deep sweetened Lapsang and deep sweetened Assam. Okay, so there's all 5 of our drinks, and Dr. Serena has arrived. One-time librarian of Hush House, one-time librarian of the Invisible Serpeum in Alexandria, and currently... what, exactly? Serena is close-mouthed, but I know that she has worked with the St. Bronwyn Trust. So let's see here. So for the particular mystique, there's been a curious fad for new religious organizations recently, including an odd outfit that calls itself the Ivory Dawn. What happened with the fad for solar cults? Does she still think it was nothing unusual? I'm not... Black Ellie, former Obliviate, former Sisterhood matriarch, and a nectar long throughout, is behind the cult called the Ivory Dawn. She intends to render Yvette Southey to Ys. She insists that this will serve the so-called bird cause, the cause of stability. I'm not often wrong, but I'm not infallible either. One of the cults is different. The Ivory Dawn. It's sponsored by Black Ellie. She's a nectar long. She was an Obliviate. I'm not sure what she is now. Always used to be a sensible soul, our Ellie, but she's working with Ys now, and she's looking for Yvette Southey. She intends to render her to Ys for their services in protecting the bounds. I don't like it. Ethics aside, Ys can't be trusted. Ys can never be trusted. Okay, so that doesn't do anything, so we can't learn anything from her. Oh. Ellie means well, I'm sure of it, and I'm sure she knows Ys will betray her. She'll have planned for it, but I fear Ys is more cunning than any long, even Ellie. Still, she is very cunning. It'll be difficult to drive her off. Do you have anything on the Iron Chain, or Applebright Euphonies 12? So let's see. Iron Chain. We do have something on the Iron Chain. We have the Iron Book. Let's see if that will work. Return next day. Alright, so there's our leek soup. So that will be a first course for us. Even if it has nothing that anybody wants, we still need to cover the first course. So we've got pudding, we've got main course, we've got first course. We just need a side dish, which our potatoes are going to be down here. So roast potatoes serve as a side dish. And then we just need the golden marrow, so we can make a marrow dish. A golden stuffed marrow for Douglas. Identify as a marrow. And there we get a golden marrow, so that's what we needed. So we'll add the golden marrow and our knife to make a golden stuffed marrow. So let's just double check. So we have Corso's Grail, we have Heart, we have Knock, we have Lantern Cooking, and we have Forge. So the coffee covers both Douglas and her. That covers Stanislav, that covers Dagmar. Yep, we should have everything we need. I love the little ghost rising out of this. Harvey Haddington, perennially suspicious of the Blomberend kind and their cuckoo honey, nevertheless championed pumpkin pie made with cuckoo honey as the herald of savor. And there's our roast pheasant we can use for a future. And we found some rose hips, berries that promise roses. And some mackerel. So let's put those away. Rose hips. And mackerel. Excuse me. We can save the Blue Crown tea for another day. So as soon as our stuffed marrow is done here, we should have everything we need. And there we go. 5 dishes, 5 drinks. Yep, so that will be our next salon there. So let's see what Serena has found out from the Iron Book. We should have our order from Catering Hero coming in. Okay, let's check up with Serena. Of course, Ellie has broken the iron chain. The Obliviots may have lost interest in punishing her, but I know King Crucible of old. She's strong enough to escape, but not strong enough to stand against him. She'll have to go into hiding. I don't like it, Librarian, but we can't let Ys get a foothold. So she has fear Ys. And we can now get her to join the Institute. Black Ellie's schemes are finished. Perhaps she is too, but she's always been a survivor. Let's see, anything else? Because we've got our 4 incidents that we've resolved. Yep, so we can continue on from here. So let's actually look at, now we have the ability to start filling this out and finishing off our roles here. So let's see, what do we have that can fit into Hushery 5? And we have Magaphine Mysteries and Quenchings and Quellings. So that can go to Preservation or to Hushery. If we go to Hushery with it, Safety and Silence. Unwise words are dangerous. Mourn them, remember them, speak them not. This is Hushery. Or we put Magaphine Mysteries in here. Revenge. The gods who are, which we call the Hours, ward against the gods from stone and cast them down. What remains of the gods from stone we call Plague, Scourge, Catastrophe. If the Hours were cast down in their turn, would the gods from stone be satisfied? Would revenge bring peace? The Night Arts hint it might be so. Or we could also put this in Preservation. The gods who are, which we call the Hours, ward against the gods from stone and cast them down. What remains of the gods from stone we call Plague, Scourge, Catastrophe. But if the gods from stone were reborn, would they still be plagues? Would renewal bring peace? The arts unregarded hint it might be so. I think we'll put this into Hushery, because we want another Triss to go beach combing with. Then for 6, we could do Serpents and Venoms. In the dawn times, the sun was lower, so we gave it our blood. From our blood it knew us, and so it was kinder. Its serpents brought us poisons to drink, and so we died. But we only died a little, and so we dreamed, and returned the next day to give it our blood again. Those times of peace persist in the lessons of hushery. Or we could go to scholocoscopy. In the dawn times the sun was lower, so we gave it our blood. From our blood it knew us, and so it was kinder. But those days are long gone. If we were foolish enough to find the first sun and give it our blood again, it would devour us. If we fed it the blood of our enemies, of course, it might devour them. This is the kind of thing you hear from scholocoscophists. I think we'll put it up here in hushery. That sounds like a nicer thing. And we'll get another tryst out of that. So we need something with scholocoscopy or hushery 7. Sacreleme. The hours are not eternal. The sun in splendor was riven and cast out. If we mortals so desire, we might prevent his return. Understand hushery, and you understand endings. Or Ornoscopy. If the stars are wisdom, then dawn is ignorance. A day might come when there is no dawn. Ornoscopy should be numbered among the night arts. Glass blowing and vessel crafting. Glass, the keeper. The highest purpose of a glass vessel, to separate what is without from what is within. Perhaps, hushery suggests, this was the first purpose of the first hour, and only in that first moment could there be perfect understanding. I think we'll leave that for the moment. Let's look down here. So we've opened up. Let's see, we have scholocoscopy. We can put something in. So we could do sharps, or we could do orchids and narcotics. The chandler's kindling. If flowers are flame, the earth is their fuel. The hour named Flower Maker cannot harm us, and he cannot find us, but he always has what we desire, and the hour named Chandler can bring the spark to light the flame. These are the temptations of scholocoscopy. If we put it in Bosque, learn from blood and drink from the earth. The red grail brought forth the hours called Flower Maker and Beach Crow, who know where in the wood we can find delight. These are the temptations of Bosque. But if we do sharps, a war in dreams. Before speech, we could not dream, which is to say that before we could wield words, we were weaponless, and even Long dared not enter the mansis for fear of being devoured. It's not obligatory for Long to wield the weapons of speech, but they generally choose to. Perhaps that's why the hours charge their names to hunt down Long, even the Long who claim to serve them. Scholocoscopy recognizes this truth. We can put sharps there in scholocoscopy and get some shapt. So that opens up scholocoscopy 5. We can put coil and chasm there. The night arts speak of the savage door to which Echidna, mother of monsters, keeps her savage key. It was the means by which the gods who were stone entered the mansis, for Echidna was once counted among their names. All scholocoscophists seek to understand what this might mean. This can also go into Nyctodromy. The night arts teach that the Peacock Gate is the highest door in dreams to which mortals may aspire, but that before she rose to this estate, the gate was a name of the horned axe. All Nyctodromists seek to understand what this might mean. So we're going to pass up on that. I think we'll drop this into... let's see what else we can put there in scholocoscopy. Now we can put... we'll put coil and chasm there. And get some more Arab. Because that lets us skip down here in Nyctodromy up to level 6. Or up to level 7. So we can put insects and nectars there. The moth spawn. The bright-winged, dark-winged, glaterfair's kind called themselves the moth spawn. They are gone now, like all the carapace kinds, but we can still use the arts of the nest to follow the old roads of the night, the legacy of the carapace cross, Nyctodromy. This can also go here in Bosque. The bright-winged, dark-winged, glaterfair's kind called themselves the Grail's favorlings. They are gone now, like all the carapace kinds, but we can still use the arts of the hive to gain the sweetness of the hidden places of the wood, the legacy of the carapace cross, Bosk. Yeah, I think we're going to put that into Nyctodromy and get some Fet, which opens up this one. So we can put Edict's Liminal there, which could also go into Skolacoscopy, so we'll look at what Skolacoscopy says. Solicite. There is a prophecy of a glorious city that mortals could raise, but the hours of the Chancel have decreed that it will not exist. The decrees of the Chancel are not defied, but now and then they have been circumvented, and we might have conceived that city with walls of shining solicite could be raised nowhere, in the darkness below dreams. This would be Skolacoscopy. Sapphire. There is a prophecy of a glorious city that mortals could raise, but the hours of the Chancel have decreed that it will not exist. The decrees of the Chancel are not defied, but now and then they have been circumvented, and we might conceive that a city with walls of shining flint could be raised in dreams in the Mansus. This would be Nyctodromy. So we'll assign that there. And then to finish off the tree, we can do Door and Wall or Auroral Contemplations. So Door and Wall, what may not be. There is a prophecy of a shining city that mortals might build. There is a paradox that a city unbuilt can always be greater than one that exists. The Night Arts teach this resolution, that the gate to that city must be fashioned from black sapphire and raised in dreams. If we put Auroral Contemplation in there, the Sunset Road. Each journey is a day, and we are tested as travelers and as pilgrims. This is the part these contemplations play in the Nyctodromy wisdom. Or it could go to Illumination. Yesterday's light determines the colors of tomorrow, and through illumination we learn that we all begin in light. Door and Wall can go in Oromachistry. There is a prophecy of a shining city that mortals might build. There is a paradox that a city unbuilt can always be greater than one that exists. The bright arts teach this resolution, that the hours will always forbid the raising of the city, so that it will remain a great hope and a great traveling. I think I like the idea of the Sunset Road. So we'll plug that in there. And we have completed Nyctodromy. So let's see what we can plug in Skolacoscopy here. We can plug in Horns and Ivories. When the chandler goes a-hunting in the dark of the wood, he shields his candle so his prey is not forewarned, but he leaves a trail of ivory wax so we may follow him and purchase his prizes. After all, the goal of every hunt is to bring home a trophy, and when we understand Skolacoscopy, we know how to bargain. This also could go to Bosk. The Moth's Way. When the moth goes a-hunting in the dark of the wood, he remembers the time when the wood was bright, but he uses his horns to find the way, and we may follow him if we choose. After all, a trophy is nothing without a hunt. That's the lesson of the wood. Yeah, that feels better in Skolacoscopy. So we have Sand Stories and Lockworks and Clockworks. A temple. The 7 tainted immortals we call Lygians are relentless in their appetite, and outcast under the laws of heaven. But they have their uses to the hours. The Lygian Echidna learnt her shaping arts in the world's dawn, and even now the lionsmith values her skill. So every year they meet in the desert among the furnace shadows of the 7-coiled temple to share their knowledge of how monsters were made. We call their stories Skolacoscopy. This could also go to Birdsong. The 7 tainted immortals we call Lygians are relentless in their appetite and outcast under the laws of heaven, but they have their uses to the hours. The Lygian Cleidoshos has known all the great keys, and even now she holds the key of days. So every year she meets the vagabond in Vienna, to exchange the names of lesser keys for the storage of the vagabond's travels. We call their gossip Birdsong. So we can put that here. And we have Lockworks and Clockworks that can go here. Of locks, the locksmith's first duty, a key for every lock and a lock for every key. If a key were an hour, what lock would it open? Skolacoscopy might hold the answer. This can also go into Ithistry. The clocksmith's first duty. When the time comes, the device should speak its purpose. Since the sun was sundered, noon is not as it was. Perhaps if we found the true hour of noon, we'd know how the sun might return. Ithistry might give us that answer. Yeah, let's put this in Skolakoscopy. So we have one more Skolakoscopy. So we need something else with Skolakoscopy. So let's find one that's unassigned and can go into Skolakoscopy. Orchids and narcotics. That works. So we'll have to work on that one. We'll save that one for last. Yeah, I think that's enough for that for now. So let's continue on with our day. And since we have Serena on our side now, she is inspired and has fear of yeast. We can have a conversation with her. And offer her a consultation on Forge or Lantern. We have plenty of books of both. So here, hope she's already read that one. She can't read Sanskrit, of course. There we go. She can read Ambrosial. My visitor has questions about matters of forge and shaping. My collection has answers. There we go. We're up to 7 gold spintria now. And there she goes. How consuming. And we'll just go ahead and fast forward here since we have nothing else going on today. And we can put our plums in the kitchen now since I think we have some room for them. Yes, they can go here in the servants' hall. And we can put the iron book back with its kin. So I'm guessing one of the other resolutions, if we had talked to Yvette about that, we could have given her over to Yeast, but I don't think we want to do that. And there's our package from Cater and Hero. So 5 bottles of milk. Let's find places for those. And 5 eggs. So I think let's put these bones some up here. Well, let's find a place to put these bones. We can put them on the desk here. And we can keep 5 eggs in our inventory. And 10 pats of butter. So we'll keep 10 pats of butter in our inventory as well. We can put our writing book or our writing desk up here. And we'll move this to our red books pile up here. Anything out here that we want to use? And nothing that looks interesting. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to the end of the season. And I think when the season ends, we'll go ahead and call it a day here at this point, because we have been, like I said, there's not much going on at this point other than resolving incidents. So, Thank you for joining me. If you've been enjoying, please leave a like or a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you want to see where this train is going to end up, then and how we end up founding the Lighthouse Institute, then please subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow. I will see you all on Monday. I forgot it is the weekend coming up. So, see you then.